Today, my dear viewer, we are mapping out the entire town of Bikini Bottom because I had one burning question. Well, actually a few. Where exactly is Rock Bottom? Also, where's the Bargain Mart?
Bargain Mart, meeting all your spatula needs.
Well, that's why we got this handy-dandy map, and we'll be revealing it as we go to guide you guys through all of Bikini Bottom. Starting with... You know what? I'll let SpongeBob have this one.
The finest eating establishment ever established for eating. The Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patty.
That's right, the Krusty Krab. It's located on the east side of Bikini Bottom, not too far from the Goo Lagoon, and as we know, right next to the Chum Bucket. As we just saw, the Krusty Krab is front and center for the first episode of the show. You know, the one where a gazillion anchovies start terrorizing the restaurant?
One single funny line is all I ask! Button down the hatches, Mr. Squidward! We're taking on water, Mr. Squidward!
And who else but SpongeBob steps up and feeds the food-mad fish. That's where SpongeBob started his patty flipping passion. Now you could say it's a coincidence, but over the years since SpongeBob's been part of the Krusty crew, things have been a bit chaotic. Basically, the place blows up a lot. It starts small and dying for pie.
So, you tried to kill me over a little new age management, eh?
But it's not long before things get a lot more explosive. Like the time Squidward goes to town on the patties.
What's gonna happen? Am I gonna blow up?
No, worse! It'll go right to your thighs, and then you blow up.
When the place isn't going boom, as you know, it's a hotbed for hungry customers to enjoy their beloved burgers.
You know what we say?
The only people who don't like a Krabby Patty have never tasted one.
It is essentially the fast food jewel in the Bikini Bottom crown. It's easily the most visited business in the town, which is a lot more than can be said for its fast food neighbor, the Chum Bucket. Like, this place is a total ghost town.
I've never even had one customer!
You'd think Plankton would get a little bit more business due to the fact that his restaurant is directly opposite of the busiest business in town.
Curse you, Mr. Krab!
Nope. Although while this place is a working restaurant...
Oh, something's not right.
Yeah, I know. I keep saying chum is fun, but it's just not working.
I'm out of here.
And I use the term restaurant pretty loosely, it's also Plankton's makeshift evil lair, which we saw when the Chum Bucket debuted in the episode where he hijacked SpongeBob's brain to steal a Krabby Patty.
This is my lab! This is my laboratory!
He doesn't manage to steal the patty and get the formula though, but we do get to see what the secret formula is for a Plankton.
Oh boy.
Plankton, 1% evil, 99% hot gas.
The guy clearly has a thing for stealing SpongeBob's brain because he also used his evil lab to put Sponge's brain in a robot.
Or should I say Robot Bob Sponge Pants? I put the brain in the robot, you know.
If you ever sailed on down to Bikini Bottom, I doubt you'd be stopping by the Chum Bucket anyway. So how about we head to somewhere with a bit more life, like say, Goo Lagoon. Now having a beach underwater does mean the show is guilty of beachception, but Goo Lagoon isn't water. It's... well, there's a certain narrator who can tell you better than me.
Goo Lagoon, a stinky mud puddle to you and me, but to the inhabitants of Bikini Bottom, a wonderful stinky mud puddle.
When I was in narrator college, this guy was who we all looked up to. Anyway, the lagoon first makes its debut in the episode Ripped Pants, where SpongeBob tries some weightlifting. Now, for any of us, this might be pretty embarrassing, but SpongeBob takes it in his stride and uses it to get some cheap laughs around the lagoon. But he takes things too far and even pretends he's drowning to get some attention.
What do you need?
A tailor.
Because I rip our pants!
So to apologize to everyone, and especially Sandy, Sponge writes a song and performs it live on the beach.
True to yourself, don't and you won't end the fool who tears his pants.
So as As you can see, ripped pants aside, the lagoon is where the critters of Bikini Bottom go to relax, catch some rays, and funnily enough, go for a swim. But when you're swimming in a big body of water, you never really know what's lurking underneath you, and in Season 9, we saw that Goo Lagoon was indeed hiding something.
This is Perch Perkins reporting live from Goo Lagoon, where I'm standing in front of what appears to be some sort of gigantic gooey bubble rising out of the water into the water.
That giant blob of goo shows no signs of shrinking after Plankton managed to pry open a crack on the lagoon floor, and it's not long before it heads to the beach.
I'll catch up! I gotta use a can!
It rolls right across Bikini Bottom until it starts taking flight right near Sandy's tree dome. But the big ball doesn't head out of Bikini Bottom, it doubles back on itself and heads for downtown. It even floats over to the Krusty Krab where Plankton threatens to pop the ball and destroy the town unless Krabs hands over the Krabby Patty formula. But SpongeBob's got a plan to save the town, and as always, it involves bubbles.
There goes a real hero. He gave his life so we could stay clean.
But after flying the ball into space, it comes crashing back down to Earth and back into Bikini Bottom. So Krabs has no choice but to hand the formula over, but you should never trust Plankton.
Happy I could just burst. This bubble, that is.
And actually, you should never trust Mr. Krabs either.
What's inside a Krabby Patty? Just one ingredient. Darn it, Krabs!
Then SpongeBob figures that if he couldn't use the bubbles to save the town, he can use them to clean it. That's good old Goo Lagoon covered. Well, actually, there's another section of the lagoon that deserves its own mention, Muscle Beach. We did kind of see it when SpongeBob first ripped his pants, but we get a much better look at it in the episode Muscle Bob Buff Pants. You know, the one where SpongeBob orders these because he's sick of being a wimp.
Are you a weakling? Built like a sponge? Well, now you too can have muscles. With anchor arms! They slip on like a glove. Just add air.
So he heads on down to see the boys at Muscle Beach to show off his new jacked arms.
Hi, guys.
SpongeBob, is that you?
Who are you expecting? Tiny Tim?
But obviously, SpongeBob's muscles are fake, so when the guys in Sandy want to put his new arm to the test during an anchor throwing contest, he's obviously against being signed up.
Wait, Sandy. I don't think it's such a... Sandy, wait!
Here it is, the sign-in list.
Oh, no.
If you can't lift up a glass of juice, how's he going to tackle giant anchors? Spoiler alert, badly. He even tries cranking up his anchor arms, but they don't do anything, and he pushes them to the point of no return. He makes himself look like a total fool in front of the entire beach again, which is a pretty common theme for SpongeBob, it seems. But yeah, this little cozy beach spot is usually filled up by Bikini Bottom meatheads like Larry the Lobster and his friends. Let's take a wander into downtown Bikini Bottom now. So I know that sounds super vague, but I'm talking about the inner city where most of the fish live. SpongeBob, as usual, knows how to cause some mayhem, even downtown. To be honest, we got a whole video on how SpongeBob terrorizes Bikini Bottom, so there's not many places he hasn't caused chaos in. But probably one of the most famous uses of downtown Bikini Bottom was in the episode Chocolate with Nuts, where SpongeBob and Patrick start selling chocolate bars to Bikini Bottomites.
Make him feel good.
Hello?
I love you.
The boys are trying to sell chocolates as a ticket to living the fancy life, but as you can see, they're pretty bad at it. They figure they've got to lie in order to sell chocolate bars, and the next customer is going to be tricky business because she hates chocolate.
Chocolate. I remember when they first invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate. I always hated it.
This is going to be a pretty hard sell.
You rub it on your skin and it makes you live forever.
Live forever, you say? I'll take one.
Hey, for someone as dumb as Patrick, that was pretty smart. While downtown Bikini Bottom is where all the fish live, there's some other cool places around the center of the town we need to check out, like the Bikini Bottom Bank. Now, it's looked a little different over the years. We first see it looking like this from the time SpongeBob tried to rob it in order to bust Mrs. Puff out of jail.
All right, put the money in the bag. Put it in!
You're facing the wrong way, sir.
Then here it is 3 seasons later in Krabby Chronicle.
I don't even know where to begin to look.
And here it is reopening under the name Bank of Bikini Bottom Bank another 3 seasons later. The writers of the show clearly think banks need to completely change every 3 years or something.
Money, here I come.
It's pretty self-explanatory. The fish go here to bank or steal. Or in SpongeBob's case, try to steal. Let's take a look at another Bikini Bottom staple location now, the Bargain Mart. Located not too far from the bank, we first see the Bargain Superstore show its face in the show's pilot after Mr. Krabs sends SpongeBob for, well, maybe it's better if he tells you himself.
Hydrodynamic spatula with, port and starboard attachments and, turbo drive. And don't come back till you get one.
SpongeBob sets out to find the impossible cooking equipment.
Spatula, port and starboard attachments.
We know he finds the spatula and rustles up some grub for those hungry anchovies, but as well as covering all your spatula needs, the Bargain Mart is also a place where you can practice your martial arts. I mean, you're not supposed to, but that doesn't stop SpongeBob and Sandy.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Apart from stalking crazy spatulas and being the place where SpongeBob and Sandy go for a punch-up, the Bargain Mart is Bikini Bottom's resident supermarket. I mean, you saw there, 15 cents for a clam. That's a good price, I think. I really buy clams a lot. There's still some other places to look at around the town center though, and some pretty important ones, like the Bikini Bottom Hospital. So, we're introduced to the medical world of Bikini Bottom in the episode Suds, where SpongeBob comes down with a nasty cold.
All right, SpongeBob, you're too sick to work.
No, Mr. Krabs, I'm okay. Honest.
No, now go home and get some rest.
But SpongeBob has a fear of going to the doctors, so he lets Patrick treat him.
Help! I'm shrinking! No! Please don't hurt me!
Plugging his holes up does stop SpongeBob from sneezing, but it's just a temporary fix. And when you build up that much pressure, eventually the bubble has got to burst. After destroying the Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs forces SpongeBob to go to the hospital where he's finally treated for his case of the suds.
Well, Mr. Squarepants, it seems you have the suds for your treatment.
You're not gonna make me read old magazines, are you?
No, silly. You get the sponge treatment.
Nope, no old magazine, SpongeBob. However, there's something much worse than that.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! I can smell again! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Feel as good as new. I love the doctor.
Yes. Lollipop.
And just like that, he's all better. The hospital has seen its fair share of patients, though, not just SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs has also needed medical attention throughout the years, like the time he ate a rotten Krabby Patty.
SpongeBob!
Yes, Mr. Krabs.
Make sure you wrap up that patty. I'm not finished with it yet!
Or like the time he was sent for a hospital stay, and while he was gone, Squidward went completely insane, and when Krabs came out, he couldn't deal with it.
Get plenty of rest, and if things don't seem right, come back.
Thanks, Doc.
SpongeBob, you can't beat me!
Then, speaking of Squiddy, how about the time he had an accident at work and needed a whole facial reconstruction surgery?
Medicine, Mr. Handsome!
What did she call me?
Handsome, but she spelled it wrong.
Quick, hand me that mirror. What the? Wait a second. That nurse was right.
Yep, the Bikini Bottom Hospital gave birth to a handsome Squidward. Well, that's not his final form. This is.
Squidward, you're even more
handsome now.
I couldn't mention handsome Squidward and not show you the final form. Anyway, you get the idea. The hospital is another one of those locations that does what it says on the tin. A bit like Bikini Bottom's jail, which we first see in the episode No Free Rides, which is the one where Mrs. Puff passes SpongeBob through boating school but realizes she's made a huge mistake.
On this negligent, selfish driving instructor who... Let's not use that take.
That's preposterous.
So, to prevent SpongeBob from destroying the city with his driving, Mrs. Puff tries to steal his boat and revoke his license. But SpongeBob won't give up his pride and joy without a fight, even if he does lose it when he realizes who's trying to boatjack him.
I'd never let you have this boat, not even if you were... Mrs. Puff?
They end up crashing into a cop car, and Mrs. Puff gets put behind bars for burglary.
The warden says she'll let you go early, if you do her a favor.
What's that?
Free driving lessons!
I think it's important to mention that the jail isn't the same as the Bikini Bottom police station, but that's an ever rarer sighting. We do get to see it though in the episode Life of Crime, where SpongeBob and Patrick steal a balloon to go on the run, only to turn themselves in.
What can I do for you boys?
We stole a balloon! We stole a balloon!
Not a balloon! These guys better pray for mercy. I think they're gonna be put away for a long time.
Don't do the crime. Okay, time's up. Now get out.
But we stole a balloon.
Yeah, on Free Balloon Day.
Oh well, that's why I'm not a lawyer, guys. But hey, at least the boys have their freedom back. So, what can two guys do on a night in Bikini Bottom? Well, they could head on over to the Salty Spitoon. Now, how would I describe the Salty Spitoon?
The roughest, toughest sailor club ever to be built under the 7 seas. Only the baddest of the bad can get in.
Oh yeah, exactly like that. You gotta be a bad dude to get into that place.
You need to have muscles on your muscles. You need to have muscles on your eyeballs.
Ew.
Hey, I'm with SpongeBob on this one. Now, obviously, after doing all that karate, SpongeBob thinks he's quite the tough dude, but let's just say the owner of the Salty Spitoon ain't buying it.
I could just run this under some hot water.
Get out of here. This place is too tough for you, little man.
SpongeBob tries his hardest to prove he's tough enough to go inside, and when he asks Patrick for help, it looks like the guys are gonna let him in.
No, please wait.
Basically, Pat pretends that SpongeBob beats him up, and surprisingly, it works.
I'd say this, but go ahead in.
Really? I can go in?
But as soon as he steps through the front door, this happens.
You ran inside and slipped out an ice cube.
It's not the only time we've seen the Salty Spitoon appear, though. It was also front and center in the episode The Salty Sponge, where the Krusty Krab was closed down, so SpongeBob had to get another job. And his next place of work was the kitchen in the Salty Spitoon.
Is the grip the spatoon? Now make with the grub! What happened to your last fry cook? That's our employee of the month wall!
While working there, SpongeBob is put through the Trials of Toughness, which he somehow wins, but within a day, the place is rebranded to the Softy Spitoon. But the Softy Spitoon still attracts the roughest and toughest who love to fight. Seeing the brawl break out, Mr. Krabs goes to check on SpongeBob, but turns out he's doing a lot better than Old Man K thinks.
Krabs, what are you doing here? The week ain't up yet.
SpongeBob isn't giving you a problem?
Problem? Nah, he's the belle of the ball.
The owner wants to keep SpongeBob around because business is so good, and we all know Mr. Krabs ain't gonna let that happen.
You can't do that. He's coming back with me right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Take you home, Mr. Krabs. This place is much too tough for you.
If only there was another place for SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs to go to. You know, somewhere more to their taste. Somewhere where they could get a gigantic ice cream sundae. That's right. I'm talking about Goofy Goobers. A place where any self-respecting geek or kid can go to drown their sorrows in ice cream. So actually, Mr. Krabs would hate it there.
Hey, Goobers, it's time to say to your favorite undersea peanut, Goober! Hey, fellow goofy Goobers. Time to sing!
Especially if they've just been snubbed for a big job.
New Krusty Krab 2 manager. Wow, the pressure's already setting in.
No, Pat, you don't understand. I didn't get the promotion.
And to drown said sorrows, SpongeBob hits the Sundays hard.
Boy, Pat, that hit the spot. I'm feeling better already.
Yeah.
Waiter, let's get another round over here.
There's nothing like a load of triple gooberberry sunrises to get a man feeling good again. Doobie Goobers is basically the complete opposite of the salty Spitoon. We've gone to a few places already where SpongeBob likes to hang out, but let's go to the place he calls home, Conch Street. There's 3 houses on Conch Street. At 120, there's Patrick's Rock, at 122, there's Squidward's Tiki Head, and at 124, there's SpongeBob's famous pineapple. We get a good look at the street in the episode's pilot.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
Go, SpongeBob!
Life on Conch Street is far from boring. In fact, it's so chaotic that if you're Squidward, you're pretty scared that your house won't end up in one piece.
SpongeBob, this is the final straw.
Even SpongeBob's house has had its fair share of being destroyed.
Oh, nematodes.
Patrick's house, however, has not been destroyed really. But then again, it is a giant rock.
Spiders! Spiders! Get them off me! Get them off me! Get them off me!
Wake up! It's me!
So that's where the guys call home. There was a time when someone else's house made its way into Conch Street for a short while. And it's not someone you want as a neighbor. The Flying Dutchman. The big scary ghoul sets anchor down in Conch Street and grabs the attention of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this thing.
Wouldn't that be the top? Squid, wait! Wait!
The trio head up on the anchor line and eventually stumble across the ship of the scariest being in all the 7 seas.
Doesn't it just kind of ring a bell?
Yes.
I know who owns this boat. I just can't place the name.
The Dutchman sends Squidward into a portal of hell for backsassing, and then he makes SpongeBob and Patrick his ghostly crew for all eternity. Although they're not exactly up to the role of being scary. So he offers them 3 wishes after they steal his sock. Now, any ordinary person would wish to be saved or for the Flying Dutchman to never dock in Conch Street ever again. However, this is Sponge and Pat we're talking about here.
Wishes? I wish we had known that earlier.
Okay, you got 2 wishes left.
They then wish Squidward to be brought back to the ship, and with their last wish, they make the Dutchman turn into a vegetarian so he can't eat them. Pretty sharp thinking, until you realize he has a wish too.
Fruits.
Hey, I get a wish too. Fruit prevents scurvy.
We got some more houses on the way for you now, though, so turn our attention to Mr. Krabs. Eugene is a pretty manly guy. He's ex-Navy, so it's pretty fitting that he lives in a house like this.
Ta-da!
Thanks for the show, Dad. Now can we open the presents?
Oh, all right. Presents for me, darling little sardine. Here we are.
Okay, his dancing might go against the manly stuff, but Mr. K's house is a pretty sweet one. It doesn't change much over the years, it's just a great big anchor. Plus, as we know and saw earlier, his real home is of course the Krusty Krab. Another house I think we should take a look at is a pretty different one, and it's the house of none other than Sandy Cheeks. Or to give her home its real title, the Tree Dome. You see, Sandy's an air-breathing critter, so she's got to have something that's filled with air, and we see what that looks like for the first time in the episode T, the Tree Dome, when SpongeBob goes to visit her.
Here.
Of course there's no water. Nothing but air.
Now, a sea critter needs water to breathe, but SpongeBob's too proud to let Sandy know he needs help, so he just sits there and slowly suffocates.
Really don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
No, SpongeBob, you need it! He eventually snaps and goes on a water-mad binge trying to find anything to help him breathe. But Sandy soon realizes the problem and comes up with a solution.
There, that ought to do it. to the ant!
It's basically just where Sandy calls home, where she enjoys the stuff she'd get on land. Oh, and she also has her own science lab where she made her own rocket.
Look how big it is, SpongeBob.
It's pretty impressive, all right.
As far as land critters go, Sandy's a smart one. The final home I wanted to look at in Bikini Bottom is actually a retirement home. Shady Shoals Retirement Home, to be exact, and they house some pretty famous old folk, like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Here they are, right over there.
Try not to surprise them.
Yeah, that whole don't scare 'em thing doesn't go so well.
But you can't retire. There's evil afoot.
What evil?
When SpongeBob isn't terrorizing the two retired heroes, Shady Shoals is usually a nice, quiet part of Bikini Bottom. But once again, SpongeBob finds a way to ruin things. The worst time coming from when he led a police chase that crashed into a prune juice tanker and flooded the entire home.
Let's open these windows so the world can see your nice white clothes.
Mrs. Puff needs to get better control of her pupils. Actually, speaking of Mrs. Puff, we've not taken a closer look at her boating school yet, so let's race on over there. The school's debut comes in the episode Boating School, where we see SpongeBob try to take his test.
Don't floor it.
Floor it?
No, don't floor it.
Okay, floor it.
School's testing ground is pretty big, and in the same episode where SpongeBob gets help from Patrick, we see just how big it is. But aside from the outside testing track, the school also has a classroom.
Lesson will be on turning.
24.
Hey, Patrick.
What?
I thought of something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
25.
That's where Mrs. Puff, as you can see, tries to teach her theory. When Mrs. Puff isn't teaching and avoiding sudden death at the hands of Mr. SquarePants, she's usually being wined and dined in the fanciest restaurant in Bikini Bottom, Fancy. No, really, the place is literally called
Mr.
Fancy.
Krabs,
We first see Mrs. Puff head to the restaurant in Krusty Love, where Mr. Krabs takes her there on a first date.
To perfection. I don't think I could eat another bite.
Oh, I doubt that, my little shrimp boat.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Mrs. Puff, because when Eugene sees the bill for this place, I don't think you'll be going there ever again.
This is your bill.
I don't understand, Krabs. How can you spend $100,000 in one night?
Oh, SpongeBob!
So, you gotta have a lot of money if you want to eat there. Well, do you remember a little while ago we saw Sponge and Pat selling chocolate bars? Turns out they were pretty darn good at it in the end, and they decided they're gonna take two pretty ladies to Fancy.
Who could afford to rent out the whole restaurant?
Oh, a couple of rich entrepreneurs and their dates.
So, how long have you two ladies known each other?
A long time, SpongeBob, a very long time. I know Mr. Krabs is his boss and all, but SpongeBob should be filthy rich from the fry cook business. I mean, after all, he was a multi-world champion of the fry cook games, which is actually where we're heading next, or the arena itself, if you want to be more specific.
Welcome, sports fans, to the 21st annual Bikini Bottom Fry Cook Games.
The favorite this year to take home the gold is obviously the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob is the best fry cook athlete in the world, but this year, he's got a new rival. See, pointing over here is SpongeBob and Patrick having an argument, and figures Patrick would be the perfect person to represent the Chum Bucket at this year's games.
Patrick, what are you doing here? You're not a fry cook.
Oh, yes, I am, Mr. SpongeBob Superior Pants. Check it out. I've been working for the Chum Bucket for almost 5 minutes.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway.
They get down to the heat of the battle in one of the biggest events, the Chocolate High Dive, where SpongeBob goes for a classic routine.
Perfect entry! And toasted almonds, that's unexpected. He stuck it! And just look at that even coating!
Patrick, meanwhile, goes for something a little more outside the box.
Just look at that concentration! A little shaky on that entry. But just look at that form!
Take that, yellow boy!
Laugh where you can, Pinky.
The guys are neck and neck as it comes to the boxing event, but a pair of underpants manages to bring the friends back together, which might be one of the weirdest sentences I've said today.
Yellow.
Pink?
You do care!
So that's one big arena in Bikini Bottom, but there is actually another, and it's front and center in maybe the greatest episode of SpongeBob ever, Band Geeks. Basically, Squilliam Fancy Son wants Squidward to bring his band to cover for the biggest sports event in Bikini Bottom, the Bubble Bowl.
That's right. I'm living your dreams, Squidward. The problem is, I'm busy next week and can't make it. So I was hoping you and your band could cover for us.
Squiddy does what he can to get a band together for the big day, but most of the Bikini Bottomites aren't exactly what I'd call musically gifted.
And a 1, 2, 3, 4.
But they step forward for Squidward when he needs them most.
Okay, football fans, put your hands together for Super Band!
And boy, they don't disappoint. The band crushed the Bubble Bowl and left Squidward finally getting a happy ending. Who knew SpongeBob had a voice like that, though? Maybe he does some singing as a hobby? I mean, we know he has some pretty interesting hobbies, as is. Well, there is one hobby he doesn't like, extreme sandboarding, but he's forced to do it with Sandy when she's about to go into hibernation. So they go up Sand Mountain. SpongeBob, meanwhile, likes to do his sandboarding with his tongue. No wonder he doesn't like it. Anyway, just think of Sand Mountain as a snowy wonderland if it was on land, like extreme snowboarding. However, there is a pastime we know SpongeBob loves, and that's jellyfishing. So it's time to head on over to take a look at Jellyfish Fields. Like Sandy's house from earlier, Jellyfish Fields first makes its debut in the episode Tea at the Tree Dome, where we see SpongeBob stalking his first jellyfish. In the series, anyway. After its debut, Jellyfish Fields became a staple for some good old jellyfish catching. Or if you're Squidward, jellyfish stinging.
It's in the bag!
This is really your best day ever, isn't it?
The field is also a hotbed for all sorts of jellies when the annual jellyfish migration season is in. And as you can see, SpongeBob loves catching them. You know what else both Sponge and Pat love? Well, it's a little bit weird, but gloves. Yeah, they got a thing about gloves. Well, Glove World to be precise, which is a theme park based on gloves that they love to go to. It has some pretty neat rides, like the Mitten. That one's literally for babies, guys. Surely there's a bigger, badder ride for adults at Glove World.
Patrick.
Goodbye, SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, there it is, the fiery fist of pain. I can see why the guys prefer the Mitten, though. Well, we first see this theme park actually way back in Season 1's Rock Bottom.
Another fantastic day at Glove World.
Look, there's the fiery fist of pain. But this episode actually brings us on to the next Bikini Bottom landmark, Rock Bottom. Now, technically speaking, Rock Bottom is its own town, but it does feature on the official map of Bikini Bottom, so I guess it's only right that I include it. While traveling back from Glove World, the boys get on the wrong bus and end up going to a strange place. SpongeBob gets out to ask for help and misses the next bus, leaving him stranded in this weird world.
I'm gonna get a bus schedule. Boy, this place sure is creepy.
Hey, SpongeBob, the bus is here!
With no way back, SpongeBob tries to find help, but anyone he meets is a stranger with a weird accent. He even loses his Glove World balloon. Or so he thinks. As he's running away, frightened someone is chasing him, a kind fish gives him back the balloon. And with it, a way back home.
Enough air. Thanks. Hey, I get it. Balloon travel. Thank you.
You're welcome.
SpongeBob uses the underwater currents to drift back home just in time for work the next day. Not bad. But it's actually not the first time he's been stranded in a weird place. There's also the time SpongePat and Squidward ended up stranded in the Kelp Forest on the outskirts of Bikini Bottom. They get stranded when Squidward accidentally catapults them deep into the Kelp Forest when trying to leave their club treehouse.
Make a wish, honey.
This entire time, SpongeBob and Patrick have been following the words of a magic conch, and they ask for guidance on what to do now that they're stuck in the wilderness.
Oh, magic conch shell, what do we need to do to get out of the Kelp Forest?
Nothing.
The boys do as the conch says, while Squidward spirals into a hunger-fueled insanity. But as the saying goes, good things come to those who wait, and by that I mean for Sponge and Pat. Squidward obviously tries to get a slice of grub, but the boys ask whether he's allowed to join them in a snacking spree, and it's not good news for Squiddy.
Can I have anything to eat?
No.
No, what do you mean no? I'm starving here.
Just as Squidward is about to waste away, an explorer stumbles upon them, and it looks like the boys are headed back to civilization.
Do you folks need some help? I'm saved! You don't know how happy I am to see you!
Don't get ahead of yourself, Squidward, because it turns out this guy is also part of the crazy club.
You mean like this?
The Magic Conch! A club member!
If you can't beat him, I guess. Well, that's the entirety of Bikini Bottom mapped out. So if you guys are ever wanting to go for a deep dive to the bottom of the sea, you know where to go. Or to see the sights at least. If you're craving some more SpongeBob goodness, then we've got loads more of his nautical nonsense on our channel for you to go back and check out. Or you can stay and watch this cool video popping up on screen right now. Either way you choose, as always, thank you very much for watching.